Hello again. We're happy you're back for another video tutorial. Today you will learn a lot of new things. We have finished a basic introduction to issuing documents, so now we can move on to some real-life examples of using documents in our system. In this video we have prepared 3 different situations. Let's start with the first one, which is the easiest. We have a guest who will pay for the entire reservation with cash or credit card on the spot. When we open the room account section, we see that there are some items in the room account such as accommodation services, taxes, etc. Let's say the guest is leaving and wants to pay at reception. You have to issue a document for payment. We can select, for example, Receipt under Documents in the Room Account section. The guest's information will automatically be generated if you have filled it in correctly on the guest accommodation card during check-in. In the lower part of the screen, you will see that all items from Room Account have been automatically moved to the issued document. In this case, the guest will pay the entire amount, so we do not have to adjust anything here and we can just select a payment method, cash or payment card. We know that we will receive money right away, so we can save the document with payment. Let's take a look at the changes in Room Account. We now have a document for the same amount as the room account price, and we have a payment tied to this document for this amount. The balance of the room is calculated as total sum of the room account items minus payments, which is now 0. You will also notice that all items in room account are marked green in the D column. D stands for documents, meaning all room account items in their full price were placed into an issued document or documents. We also have green icons in the P column, which stands for payments. This has a similar meaning and informs us that all the items were paid in full. We can now print the document and check out our guest. Now on to the second example. There is a company reservation and we want them to pay 100% deposit of the total sum by bank transfer. We move to the company reservation room account, where we again see some basic room account items. Now we issue a Pro-Forma invoice. The customer, company, and all information will be loaded automatically from the reservation if you have it filled in. All room items are also loaded automatically. We can merge them together into one item called Advance Payment for accommodation services using this button. Now we can save the document and send it to the client. You can send the email with the Pro-Forma invoice directly from our system using this button. Now we move into the future a bit. We have checked our bank account balance and we see that we have received a payment from the company. At this time we need to issue an advance payment document and assign a payment to the reservation. So let's open the editing window of a Pro-Forma invoice, and in the lower part next to the Save button is Issue ADV Document. All information from the Pro-Forma invoice will be loaded automatically to your advance payment document. If you want, you can merge all items back together. This choice is up to you. The last thing is saving the document altogether with payment, because we did not assign the payment to the reservation yet. ADV serves as a proof of receiving the payment, and it looks like this. The ADV document shows that you have already received payment through a bank transfer, which you can see on the bottom of the document. Some companies also want you to send a final invoice, which some might call a zero invoice, for their accountant. You can easily create a new invoice in Room Account. The first thing you will be asked is if you want to assign some advanced documents to it, and a previously issued ADV will be displayed. Confirm the assignment. If you check the total amounts in the bottom right corner, you will see that the advance has been paid in the full amount and there is nothing else to be paid. Save the invoice without payment, because we have already saved the received payment with ADV and there is nothing else to be paid. The invoice itself looks like this. In the final invoice, you can see information about the advance payment among the list of items. The last situation we'll demo is the situation when you request only a partial deposit from your client, not a 100% deposit. There are 2 possible ways to do this. If you want a specific sum, you can create a Pro-Forma invoice in the same way as we showed you in previous cases. You will create a Pro-Forma, merge all items, and change the price of the merged item to whatever sum you want. If you want a Pro-Forma invoice with, let's say, a 60% deposit from the total sum, you can generate a Pro-Forma invoice and send it to the client with an accommodation voucher from the reservation detail. You will be asked to specify the voucher and deposit details. You can easily change the percentage of the deposit, and don't forget to click that you want to issue an advance list with the voucher, and where you want to send the email with the voucher and Pro-Forma invoice. The email will be sent, and if we switch to Room Account, you will see that we have the Pro-Forma right here. Now we wait for the payment, and the moment we receive it, we can proceed to an advance payment document. We create a new one from the Pro-Forma and save it with the payment. The balance of the reservation is lowered by the total amount of paid deposit as we're waiting for our guest to arrive. You can also notice that icons near room account items are marked with a yellow icon, which means items are partly placed in issued documents and items are also partly paid by assigned payments. Now when the guests arrive at the hotel and they want to pay the remaining part of the total sum, we can create an invoice or receipt. Then we need to assign the already paid deposit to it. We issue a new invoice and we will be offered to assign an advance payment document from the reservation. Confirm the selection of the ADV and let's check what we have in the invoice. You can see that all items are placed in the invoice in their full price, but when you look to the lower right corner you will see there is an assigned deposit already calculated in this invoice, and we see that in this invoice only the remaining part of the price is still to be paid by cash or by credit card. Now just select the preferred payment method and you can save the document with the payment, because the guest will pay you the remaining part right away. The invoice will look like this. The paid deposit will be mentioned in the invoice, altogether with the number of the advance payment document. In room account, we will altogether have 3 documents and 2 payments, one for bank transfer, and in this case, one for a cash payment, which will lower our balance to 0. All items in the room account will be marked with green icons, meaning that the full price of the items was issued in documents, and the full price was also paid by 2 assigned payments. If we create another invoice, there will be no items in the room account. The reason for this is simple. All items were placed in their full price in previously issued documents, and there is no need to place them in other documents. If we add a new item to room account, and we issue another receipt, for example, only the new item which is not in any document and is not paid will be placed into this newly issued document. We've now reached the end of our first part of our documents tutorial. We'll be glad if you can find the time to join us for the second part. Thank you for your time.